Hello students. Student, in the last class just we have to discuss the three basic kind of relations that should be known as the reflexive relation, symmetric relation as well as the transitive relation. So these things are to be the very important section, student, because in our NCERT basically the questions belonging to the reflexive relation, symmetric relation as well as the transitive relation is to be given, and mainly in the examination, student, that type of parts are to be asked also. Today, student, we will start the next part that should be important, very important, very important for us, because this particular section will be known as the equivalence relation. And in this particular kind of relation, student, all the kind of reflexive, symmetric and transitive are to be already included. So today we are going to start the equivalence relation and equivalence classes. Equivalence relation and equivalence classes and equivalence classes. Is it to be clear? A very important topic for the point of view of examination, student. This is because here in this particular kind of equivalence relation, one more topic is to be added, that should be known as the equivalence classes. So if any of the questions will be coming from this section, then definitely it will carry more marks. Means this will carry now 5 marks question is to be asked from this particular kind of topic. So you have to keep in mind each and every concept that we have to discuss here, as well as we have to also discuss the very important section related to this part, that should be known as the equivalence classes. Some of the student will get confused sometime regarding to this equivalence classes, so you have to keep in mind the ideas related to the equivalence classes also. We will discuss here through a very important examples. So student, first of all, what should be the basic definition of equivalence relation? So any relation is said to be equivalence relation if it will be you can say that reflexive relation as well as symmetric relation as well as the transitive relation. So you can say that if any of the relation is said to be reflexive, symmetric and transitive, means all the cases will passes through any kind of relation, then it is said to be the equivalence relation. So you can say that any relation R is said to be equivalence relation if and only if it will be reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Is it to be clear? So basically, student, in this particular kind of equivalence relations, first of all we have to check whether the given relation is reflexive or not, symmetric or not and transitive or not. And if any of the relation will passes all these three parts, means all three sections are to be passes by any relation, then it is said to be the equivalence relation. So the basic definition of equivalence relations you can just understand here. But student, again we are doing the same job, because in the previous class just we have to discuss the many kind of examples where we have to take the some kind of examples, then we have to check whether it is reflexive or not, symmetric or not, transitive or not. So we have to keep in mind each and every part, and definitely if we will keep each and everything, then definitely you can understand the concept of equivalence relation also. So student, the definition part is to be very easy here, because here no much more requirement or no much more any other concept we are included here. Only the concept of reflexive, symmetric and transitive are to be used here. And I think each and every student know very well about the reflexive relation, symmetric relation and transitive relation, because reflexive relation means you can say that if any of the element A is to be taken from the set A, then we have to check whether the image of this element is to be available with itself or not. Means for each and every element A belongs to A, if A comma A belongs to R, then it is said to be reflexive. For the symmetric, you know very well, student, for the symmetric, if AB belongs to R, then we have to check whether BA belongs to R or not. And similarly for the transitive, student, the transitive case is the very important, because we have to discuss the two kind of definitions. One is the general definition related to the transitive is said to be as if AB belongs to R and BC belongs to R, then we will check the AC belongs to R. If AC belongs to R, then it is said to be transitive. If AC does not belongs to R, then it is not said to be transitive. But one more important definition we have to discuss in the last class, where any case of transitive is also to be handled by a situation where suppose AB belongs to R, but no BC is found to be in R. So we will not check for the AC, and definitely relation is automatically said to be the transitive. So such type of definition we have to already discuss in the last video. So again student, we will check any of the relation is reflexive, symmetric or transitive or not. According to that we have to check the equivalence. So we will take a suitable example to understand this thing. Suppose any relation defined on the set A, suppose set A is to be given as 1, 2, 3, 4, and any relation R is to be given as, suppose here it is to be written as 1, 1, this is 1, 2, this is, you can say that 2, 1, then after 2, 2, then after 3, 3, then after 4, 4. Suppose it is to be given. Suppose any relation will be defined on the set A. Is it to be clear? Now we have to check whether the relation is reflexive or not, symmetric or not, transitive or not, because if any of the relation is found to be reflexive, symmetric and transitive all, then it is said to be the equivalence relation. So basically student, for the reflexive case, what we will check here, for the reflexive case we will check if any of the element you can take from the set A, then we will check either 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4 is to be available in the given relation or not. So definitely 1, 1 is there, 2, 2 is there, 3, 3 is there, 4, 4 is there. So you can say that for A belongs to set A, definitely A comma A belongs to R. So it is reflexive. Easily you can just check the relation is reflexive or not. Similarly student, we will check for the symmetric. So in the case of symmetric, how we will check the relation is said to be symmetric or not? So basically student, in the case of symmetric relation, we will check the AB, then we will take the AB, then we will check for the BA. So you can say that student, for the each and every doublet 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 and 4, 4, each and every doublet will not be checked always, because for each and every kind of doublet definitely you can say that the relation is automatically said to be reflexive, symmetric or transitive. Means we will check for the two different element here. So you can say student, this is taken as AB, means 1, 2 is there, then definitely 2, 1 is also to be there. So basically if A, B belongs to R such that AB belongs to R, implies we have to check BA belongs to R or not. So in this particular kind of example, this particular AB belongs to R, then BA is also said to be belongs to R. So it is symmetric. So easily student, you can just check for the symmetric case. Is it to be clear? Similarly, we will check for the transitive. Again student, we will say that for the transitive case, we can say that for each and every kind of doublet we will not check for the transitivity, because in each and every case of doublet automatically the relation is said to be transitive, reflexive and symmetric. So we will check for the different kind of numbers. So you can take, suppose this 1, 2 as AB, suppose this 1, 2 we are taking here 1, 2. So suppose this is taken as AB, then we will check for the BC. So this is taken as AB, then what is BC? So these are the two ordered pair will belongs to the BC. So you can check here 2, 1 and you can check here 2, 2. So in this case AB and BC, this is taken as BC. So definitely 1, 1 belongs to R, you can check here. And similarly student, if this is AB and this is taken as BC, then along with this 1, 2 is also belongs to R. So in this case this is said to be transitive, no problem. Now we will take the next case 2, 1. So 2, 1 means you will again found to be the two ordered pair corresponding to the BC. So definitely student 2, 1 is to be there. Then we will take 1, 2. Then 2, 2 is to be there. And similarly 2, 1 and 1, 1 is to be there. Then definitely 2, 1 is also to be there. So this relation means here there are three numbers A, B, C belongs to A set such that AB belongs to R and BC belongs to R, implies that AC belongs to R. So definitely student, for each and every kind of ordered pair it is to be get satisfied for this given relation on defined on the set A. So this relation is found to be reflexive, symmetric and transitive. So this kind of relation is said to be the equivalence relation. So you can now declare this particular kind of relation as the equivalence relation. Is it to be clear? So easily student, you can just check whether the given relation is said to be the equivalence relation or not. So for the equivalence relation, just we have to check the three cases, whether it is reflexive, symmetric or transitive or not. If any of the relation is found to be reflexive, symmetric and transitive, then it is said to be the equivalence relation. So student, before taking the next example, pause the video to note down the things. Then we will take one more example where we have to take any of the relation, and definitely we will check whether the relation is said to be equivalence or not. So next example we are taking here. Suppose any other example we are taking here. Suppose A is the set of all triangle. A is equals to set of all triangles. Set of all triangles lies in a plane. Lies in a plane. Suppose this is the any set A which is to be defined as the set of all triangles that should lie in a particular plane. Now any relation R should be defined on the set A like this: T1 comma T2 such that T1 is congruent to T2. T1 is congruent to T2, where T1 and T2 both belongs to the set A. Is it to be clear? So suppose this particular kind of relation is to be given here, where T1 and T2 are said to be the two triangles, and the relation is to be given between them is T1 is congruent to the T2. Means congruency, I think each and every student know very well about the congruent triangle. So the congruency relation is to be given here. Now we have to check whether the given relation is said to be equivalence relation or not. Is it to be clear? So again student, the equivalence relation is that relation which is found to be reflexive, symmetric and transitive all. If all the testing of reflexive, symmetric and transitive will passes, then definitely you can say that it is said to be the equivalence. So students, first of all we will check for the reflexive case. We will check the reflexive case. So for the reflexive case, let any triangle T belongs to the set A, then T comma T, we will check for the T comma T. T comma T implies that T is congruent to T. Means suppose any of the triangle is to be taken, then definitely each and every triangle is always found to be the congruent to itself. Means here, so you can say that T comma T belongs to R. So it is reflexive. So it is reflexive. Is it to be clear? Because any of the triangle you can take, then definitely it is found to be the reflexive to itself always. Is it to be clear? Next student, we are taking the symmetric. Next we will take the symmetric relation, whether it is found to be symmetric or not. So let T1 comma T2 belongs to the set A such that T1 is congruent to T2, implies that T1 T2 belongs to R. T1 T2 belongs to R, because this is the symbol of congruency. I think each and every student know very well. So student, we are taking the two triangles T1 and T2 such that T1 is congruent to T2. Now we will check for the T2 comma T1. So T2 comma T1. So definitely student, you can just imagine this thing, whether if T1 triangle is congruent to T2, then definitely T2 will be also congruent to the T1. So T2 comma T1 implies that T2 is congruent to T1 or not. So which is found to be true, which is always found to be true. So you can say that T2 comma T1 also belongs to R, and in this case you can say that the relation is found to be symmetric, and this relation is said to be symmetric. So you can say that so it is symmetric. So it is symmetric. Is it to be clear? So easily student, you can just check the symmetric nature of this relation. Now the third and most important part for the transitive, means we will check for the transitivity. So whether the relation is found to be transitive or not. So for this purpose, let T1 comma T2 comma T3, and this belongs to the set A such that such that T1 comma T2 belongs to R implies that T1 is congruent to T2 and T2 comma T3 belongs to R implies that T2 is congruent to T3. Means there are two kind of ordered pair like this AB and BC will be available here. Like T1 T2 means T1 is congruent to T2 and T2 is also congruent to T3. Means any of the triangle T1 is said to be congruent to T2 as well as T2 is already congruent to the T3, then definitely student automatically you can say that T1 is, so you can say that, so T1 is always found to be congruent to T3. This implies T1 comma T3 T1 comma T3 belongs to R, means the relation is found to be transitive. So the given relation is said to be reflexive, symmetric and transitive all, means all the testing will passes by this given relation, means the reflexive nature, symmetric nature and transitive nature all will be found to be true, then definitely this kind of relation is said to be equivalence relation. So it is equivalence. So it is equivalence relation. Is it to be clear? So student, in these type of cases, how we will check whether the given relation is found to be equivalence or not? So a very basic strategy student, again we are using the three cases, means we have to check whether it is found to be reflexive, symmetric or transitive or not. If any of the relation is found to be reflexive, symmetric or transitive, then it is said to be the equivalence relation. Is it to be clear? Now student, the next and most important part related to the equivalence relation, that should be known as the equivalence classes. What should be the meaning of equivalence classes and how the equivalence classes are to be obtained? Here we have to see this thing carefully. Is it to be clear? So before taking the next part, student, pause the video to note it down the answer. Then we will take the next part that should be related to the equivalence relation known as the equivalence classes. Is it to be clear? So the next part we are taking equivalence classes. This topic is very important for us. Equivalence classes. Is it to be clear? So equivalence classes, which type of classes are to be there, which are known as the equivalence classes? We have to just discuss this thing, but just by taking a suitable example, student. Here now we are saying, what we are saying here, we are saying that if any relation is found to be equivalence relation, then the equivalence classes exist, otherwise no existence of equivalence classes is to be there. So first of all, for the equivalence classes, or we will find the equivalence classes only that kind of relation which is found to be equivalence relation. So basically what we are saying, if any relation is found to be equivalence, then there exist an equivalence classes. Otherwise the equivalence classes does not exist for the any other kind of relation. So first condition to calculate the equivalence classes is that any relation is found to be equivalence. Suppose any of the relation, we have to check first of all whether it is found to be equivalence or not, then there exists an equivalence classes. Otherwise in no other kind of relations, no existence of equivalence classes also. Is it to be clear? In any equivalence classes, what should be the basic definition, student? The basic definition of equivalence class is suppose any of the relation R should be defined on the set A, then that particular set A should be divided into the subsets. Is it to be clear? And there should be a basic condition or on the subsets. That should be A1. Suppose we have to divide the particular set A into the two different kind of subset, A1 and A2. Then we are saying that A1 intersection A2 will be equals to 5. Means these subsets are mutually disjoint with each other. Means no element is found to be common where. Second condition means if we have to taking union of the two subsets A1 union A2, then it is always found to be equals to the set A. Is it to be clear? And the third condition, any element of A1 subset, suppose subset A we will take, any element of subset A is definitely related to the its element, its other element. Is it to be clear? And similarly, all the any element of A2 is always related to the itself. Is it to be itself, or you can say that the element that should be available in the set A2. No element of A1 should be related to the element of A2. This is the very basic condition for the equivalence classes. Student, these things we will understand just by taking a suitable example. So just we will write these things, but we will take some example so that easily you can just verify each and everything what we are saying here. Is it to be clear? So basically we have to take a example to define the basic cases of equivalence relation. So suppose any example we are taking here, we will take any example here. Suppose any set A is to be given, and suppose this set A is to be given as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Suppose this any set A, any relation R should be defined on this particular set A like AB such that A minus B divides 2. A minus B divides by 2, where A comma B both belongs to the set A. Suppose this particular relation is to be given. Now student, we have to check first of all whether the relation is said to be equivalence or not. After checking the equivalence case, we will also find out the equivalence classes. Is it to be clear? So in this example, first of all we will check whether the relation is found to be equivalence or not. After getting the equivalence relation, we will also calculate the equivalence classes, and you can understand the thing related to the equivalence classes also. So basically, first of all, we will check the reflexive. We will check the reflexive, means whether the given relation is found to be reflexive or not. So for this part, we will take any element A belongs to A, and then we will check for A comma A. A comma A implies that A minus A equals to 0, which divides 2 always, which divides 2, or you can say that 2 divides A minus B. Is that to be clear? So here just we have to calculate A minus A. So definitely if any element is to be get subtracted from itself, then it is found to be 0, and 0 divided by 2, 0 divided by 2, then definitely the answer is found to be 0. So which is true, you can say that which is true. So it is reflexive. So it is reflexive. So there should be no problem to understand the meaning of reflexive nature, student. Next we will check for the symmetric relation, whether it is found to be symmetric or not. So for the symmetric case, we will take the two different element A comma B belongs to A such that AB belongs to A, such that AB belongs to A, implies that you can say that A minus B equals to 2R1, where R1 is any integer. Suppose we are saying that A minus B divides 2, then this particular A minus B can be any multiple of 2 will be there. Is it to be clear? That's why we are taking here 2R1. So R1 will belongs to the any kind of integer. So you can just write the statement like this, because this A minus B can be any kind of multiple of 2. Similarly, now we will check for BA. So BA means BA implies that B minus A, and B minus A is definitely, student, is found to be minus of 2R1, which is found to be 2 times of minus R1, where R1 is along again belongs to the Z. So definitely if we will check for the BA, then B minus A will give the answer as minus of 2R1, but we can write this part as 2 times of minus of R1, means again this is any of the number which is to be belongs to the set of integer. So this particular B minus A is also multiple of 2. So you can say that if AB belongs to R, then definitely BA belongs to R. So BA belongs to R. So it is symmetric. So it is symmetric. Is it to be clear? So now student, this particular relation is said to be reflexive as well as symmetric. Now we will check for the third part, and that should be the transitive, means whether the given relation is found to be transitive or not. So in the case of transitivity, we have to take the 3 numbers. Suppose A, B and C, and we are saying that AB belongs to R implies A minus B equals to 2R1, where R1 is any integer. Similarly, BC belongs to R. BC belongs to R says that B minus C equals to 2R2, where R2 is again said to be any integer. Now student, If AB belongs to R and BC belongs to R, then we will check whether AC belongs to R or not. If it is belongs to R, then it is said to be transitive, otherwise it is not said to be transitive. So basically student, we have to just add both the equation, means A minus B equals to 2R1, B minus C equals to 2R2. So we will just add both the equation. After adding, you can say that this B will get cancelled out and you will get the result as A minus C equals to 2 times of R1 plus R2. And student, here if R1 and R2 both are said to be integer, then definitely R1 plus R2 is always found to be the integer. So you can say that A minus C also divides 2. So definitely this is also the multiple of 2. So AC belongs to R. So AC belongs to R. So it is found to be transitive, it is found to be symmetric, it is found to be reflexive. So basically student, you can just check whether the relation is found to be reflexive, symmetric or transitive or not. So in this case, you will say that this particular relation is found to be reflexive, symmetric or transitive. So you can say that this particular relation is said to be the equivalence relation. This is said to be the equivalence relation. Now this is the first part that should be asked here. Check whether the relation is equivalence or not. And if it is found to be equivalence, then just we have to calculate the equivalence classes, and that should be our topic also here. So we will understand the things now. Now student, this is found to be equivalence relation, no problem. So now we will calculate the equivalence classes. So basically what we are saying, if any of the relation is found to be equivalences, then there exists an equivalence class, otherwise no equivalence class will be existed. Now the next thing we are saying, suppose any relation R is to be defined on any set A. Suppose this particular relation R is to be defined on this set A. Then this particular set A is to be changes into the its subparts. Means you can say that this particular set A is to be divided into the some subsets. And what type of subsets are to be there? Where you can say that all the subsets has intersection, then their intersection will be equals to phi. Means all the subsets are found to be the mutually disjoint set. So basically here let A1 comma A2 are two subset. Suppose are two subset of given set A, then A1 and A2 said to be equivalence classes, said to be equivalence classes if and only if the very first condition A1 intersection A2 will be obtained as phi. Means this particular set A will be divided into the some different kind of subsets like A1, A2, A3. You can take many more. Here we are taking only 2. Then the very first condition between these subsets will be their intersection will be equals to phi, and we can say that they are mutually disjoint subsets. They are mutually disjoint subset. Then second condition, A1 union A2, this is again found to be the A. Means suppose we are taking A1 and A2, then their union will be always found to be equals to the set A. So basically here A1 and A2 union is to be calculated, then it is found to be set A. Is it to be clear? And the third condition, any element of A1, any element of A1 is related to relation R. Related, you can say that any element of A1 is related to R, and similarly you can say that any element of A2 is related to R. Is it to be clear? Suppose we are taking the two elements from A1, then definitely they are belongs to the relation, and suppose we are taking the two elements from A2, then definitely the relation will be get satisfied. But no element of A1 is to be related with A2. So you can say that no element, this is the very important step student, no element of A1 is related to A2, So if these A1 and A2 will satisfy these four criteria, then these A1 and A2 are said to be the equivalence classes. So student, what we are saying for the equivalence classes, just we have to see the example first of all, then now we will also find the equivalence classes of the given relation, but before that we have to understand the thing. Student, any of the relation is found to be equivalence, then the their existence of equivalence classes first of all. Second, if A1 A2 are the subset of the given set A, then A1 and A2 are said to be equivalence classes, but when their intersection will be equals to phi, means they are said to be the mutually disjoint set. When A1 union A2 is to be found as set A, and any element of A1 is related to the R, similarly any element of A2 is also related to the R, but no element of A1 is related to the A2, then these A1 and A2 are said to be the equivalence classes. Is it to be clear? So now student, we will calculate the equivalence classes for this case, because here just we are saying that this particular relation is found to be the equivalence classes. So we will take the next part, but before that you have to pause the video to note it down the things, then we will also find the equivalence classes of the given part. So so in this example, this set A 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 up to 9 is it is to be given. Is it to be clear? Now this particular part is to be divided into the some subsets like A1, A2, A3, and you can make many more subsets also, but student, the conditions between them should be, we have to just discuss here. So suppose we have to make the set A1 first of all. So in A1, suppose we are taking the element 1, first element we are taking. Now 1 and 2 you cannot take, because 1 cannot be related with the 2, because 1 minus 2 or 2 minus 1 will be always found to be the 1, and 1 is not divisible by the 2. So next we will take the 3, then we will take the 5, then we will take the 7, then we will take the 9. So we will take any set A. Now all the elements you can check. Suppose we are taking these two elements, you can take any of the two elements, then definitely student, their subtraction will be an even number, so that they will be divisible by 2, means they will divide the 2, no problem. Now similarly we will take the another subset. Suppose we are taking 2, then 2 cannot be taken with 3, because 2 minus 3 will be 1, and 1 is not divides 2. So basically we will take 2, 4, 6 and 8. Is it to be clear? Now student, no any other subsets are to be made in this case. Sometimes in the this will depend on the particular kind of relation and particular kind of set. You can make many more subsets here. So first of all, this particular set A is to be divided into the two subsets, two or more subsets, no problem. According to this relation, there are two subsets are to be there. Now this A1 and A2 are said to be the equivalence classes. When A1 intersection A2 we have to check, A1 union A2 we have to check. Is it to be clear? So definitely student, no element of A1 is to be found in A2, so intersection will be obtained as phi. And definitely if we have to just use the union case, then definitely A1 union A2 will be found to be A. So both the conditions are to be satisfied. Is it to be clear? Now the third condition, all the elements of A1 are related to itself, means are related to with each other. Suppose 1 is to be taken with 5, then 5 minus 1 will be 4, and 4 is divisible by 2, no problem. Similarly you can take 3 with the 9, then 9 minus 3 will be 6, so definitely it will be divisible by 2. But suppose you can take one element from here and other element from here, then definitely the relation will not be satisfied, because here the four conditions you can just check here. A1 intersection A2 will be phi, A1 union A2 will be A, any element of A1 is related to R, and any element of A2 is related to R, but no element of A1 is related to the A2. So in these four conditions you can just see the various part, and we will check for these four condition for the given two subsets. So all the conditions are to be get satisfied. So equivalence classes. But student, a very important thing, so there are two equivalence classes. There are two equivalence classes. There are two equivalence classes are to be found for the given set A, where the relation R is to be get defined. Now how the particular representation part of these equivalence classes, we have to see this thing also. So student, we will write because either of the student take here 2 4 6 8, and either of the student here can take 1 3 5 9. So there should be an ambiguity to representation part, because any of the student will take this as A1 and this is A2 also. So we will just represent in a very systematic way. So how this particular A1 class is to be get represented? So we will write here 1. So it means equivalence class, we will write this part as equivalence class containing element 1, containing element 1. Is it to be clear? Suppose you can take any other number also. Suppose sometime you can say that 3 you can write, 5 you can write, 7 you can write, 9 you can write. Is it to be clear? So this particular thing is said to be the equivalence class containing 1. Now there should be no confusion related to the A1 and A2, but we are saying that 1, suppose here you can just write also this particular part also can be represented like this. Equivalence class, both are the similar things, you can represent it with any of the element. Equivalence class containing element 3. Is it to be clear? So you can just represent the equivalence class like this, and you can just say this is A1 and A2, no problem. But how to write the proper representation of equivalence classes to be there, you can see here. Is it to be clear? Similarly, if we will take any of the element 2, suppose here, then how we will write this part? So this can be written as equivalence class containing element 2. Is it to be clear? And this can be also represented as 2, means this can be represented as 2, 4, 6 and 8. Is it to be clear? And how we will write this part? This will be represented as 1 equals to, you can write here 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Is it to be clear? So basically student, how the equivalence classes are to be get decided and how these parts are to be get calculated, you can just see, and it will depend on the relation. So first of all we will check whether the relation is found to be equivalence or not. If the relation is found to be the equivalence, then definitely equivalence class will be existed, otherwise the no equivalence class will be get existed. So in this example student, you can just think about the equivalence class also. What should be the meaning of equivalence class, how the equivalence classes are to be get declared and how it is to be found. Is it to be clear? So all the things are to be the very important for us. We have to keep in mind each and every concept related to the equivalence class, because the various questions are to be also given in NCERT as well as in examination. Definitely the question related to the equivalence class is to be definitely is to be asked. So first of all we have to see the set where the relation is to be defined. Then these particular type of set will be divided into the many subsets where the conditions will be fulfilled like this. Will means their intersection will be equals to phi, their union will be equals to A, and all the elements of A1 are related to the R1, and similarly all the elements of A2 are to be get related with R, but no element of A1 is related to the A2. So these type of classes you can make, that should be known as the equivalence class, and you can just see the representation part also. Is it to be clear? So student, in these two kind of topics, equivalence class and equivalence relation, just we have to understand the basic phenomena, how the equivalence relation is to be get decided, and after that if any of the relation is said to be equivalence relation, then how the equivalence classes are to be get obtained. So you can see the things in this particular kind of example. Is it to be clear? So we will write one more important thing related to the equivalence class here. Equivalence class. Let any relation R defined on set A, then if relation is equivalence, then to calculate equivalence class, set A is divided into some subsets like A1, A2, A3, and so on an in such a way that very first condition a1 intersection a2 intersection a3 and so on intersection an will become equals to phi. Next condition is a1 union a2 union a3 and so on an will be equals to a, and all the elements, any elements of a1 a2 up to an are related to given relation, as well as the last and important thing, no element of a1 is related to a2 a3 and so an. Is it to be clear? So student, these are the very basic 4 conditions. Here what we are writing is, suppose any relation R that should be defined on the set A, then if the relation is said to be equivalence, first of all the calculation of equivalence classes will be there, then whenever the relation is found to be equivalence. So we will check for the equivalence relation. First of all, to calculate the equivalence classes, set A is divided into some subsets like a1 a2 a3 and so on an in such a way. These are the 4 important conditions for the equivalence classes. Their intersection will be equals to phi, their union will be equals to the a, and all the elements or any element of a1 a2 a3 are to be related to the given relation, but no element of a1 is get related to the a2 a3 an. Is it to be clear? So if any of the subset will satisfy these 4 conditions, and that should be the subset of the given set where the relation is to be get defined, then these are said to be the equivalence classes. Is it to be clear? So student, this topic is the very important here. Today we have to just discuss the very important section related to the equivalence class as well as the equivalence relation. So we have to keep in mind these things, and student, all the theory part related to the relation we have to discuss here. First of all, we have to see the basic definition part, then after we will discuss about the various kind of relations, and today the last topic of relation we have to just discuss here as equivalence classes and equivalence relation. Now student, in the next video we will meet with the exercise 1.1 of your class 12 NCERT mathematics, where the basic questions are to be there. So we will just discuss the each and every question in a very detail, whether the given relation is, what type of relation is to be there, because as per the NCERT syllabus student, only just we have to check whether the relation is reflexive, symmetric or transitive or not. Is it to be clear? So all the things we will keep in mind, and according to that we will just simplify the things. Is it to be clear? So student, in the next video we will meet with your NCERT exercise 1.1 and where the questions of relations we will solve. What type of questions are to be given, you can just see the questions and just you can evaluate the question before seeing the video, because if you are doing the question, then definitely the confidence level will be increases. And suppose you will see the video, then after you will after seeing the solution you will just simplify the question, then there should be the less confidence will be generated into yourself. So before seeing the solution part, you have to just try to do the question of NCERT of exercise 1.1. So student, we will meet in the next video with the NCERT exercise 1.1. Thank you.